Hello. Hopefully this works. Yeah, this is something that I haven't done in a long time. I haven't done like a proper voiceover for like a sales report or anything like that. And I used to do them all the time when I was like a faceless channel. But yeah, I've kind of let them slip by the wayside. But I thought, no, let's do them properly. Yeah, so technically I should have started last month, but I've just been too busy. So I've decided to do one this month. I was doing my taxes and I thought, now I'll do like a mini sales report. Now, this isn't everything that's sold, but it's some of my favourites, and I thought, why not? Okay, so the first ones that I want to kind of talk about are these. The top left, Alton Towers Teddy. Now, this is probably, I love picking up these because I live so close to like the Alton Towers Resort. I do actually find quite a lot of these, and I usually find them for like £1 or less. This one was 13, yeah, and I paid £1 for it, and it sold for in total £21. Now, how I've calculated like the post and fees, well, at the end of every month you're given like a report, and it actually tells you, eBay tells you how much they've taken for each item. So that's how much they've taken plus £2.99 for postage, which left me with a net profit of £14 and 2p. Yeah, so that's kind of how I've worked it so far. Now, obviously, all of these aren't including. These are obviously, there's like personal tax and business tax. I haven't taken them off yet because I usually do it at the end of every month in total. But yeah. Per item is a bit too much for me, but you could probably work it out. It's about 20%. Yeah, so top right, Maker's Mark. I got this sold within it was within a day or two. I got it for 33p. It was 3 items for £1, and from the car boot from the fella that I used to go to. And Maker's Mark is a whiskey. This is a promo box. It actually went to, I think, Belgium, if I remember rightly. Yeah, and fees and post, because the postage, it was quite heavy, so it was like £4 odd. Yes, but net profit £12.50, which I'm pretty chuffed for something that basically costs next to nothing. Yeah, the martini tea towel is probably one of my favourites. I got a bundle and it worked out about £1 each for these towels. I've sold one, a Scottish one, for like 15 quid. The martini tea towel sold for £23.63p after fees and postage and everything. The net profit is £16 and 2p. Woo. Okay, so these are like 3 of some of the quickest flips of the month. I want to start at the bottom with the Fred Perry top. I got that from Sandbach, and I think it was £4.95. I don't think it was over a £5. But yeah, I put it up, and literally it was within a day. It wasn't a full day, but it was within a day that it sold, and it sold full asking, no kind of like offers sent. Yeah, and it sold for £44.49. But if you look at obviously what I paid and like the postage fees, like net profit £33.64. That's a nice kind of chunky sale. That's a nice kind of like above average sale, which is kind of what I'm aiming for at the moment. The top left, Arklow. I got, actually the top ones, I got them on the same day, but just go over to the left one, Arklow. It's an Irish kind of pottery brand, and it's beautiful, kind of like Celtic kind of markings on it. It's lovely. Yeah, I got 3 for £1, so it works out about 33p each. With postal fees, yeah, the net profit altogether came to £13.69. But yeah, they didn't sell on the same day. I bought them on the same day, is that what I said? Yeah, so the Burleyware, this is the jam pot. It actually featured on Amanda's channel. Check her out. It's called her channel's called Anything Vintage. She set a challenge, and this is like a 1930s. The challenge was one thing from different decades, and this was the 1930s one. And yeah, I either paid £1 or £2. I can't remember. It's kicking me. Yeah, so I paid £1. I think, and it sold for £25.85 with the postage and fees. Yeah, it came to 20 quid. Okay, so I'm just going to go clockwise. The small lampshades I got from Emmaus, which is a big charity shop. They sell mainly furniture. But usually what you can do at this one that I go to, you can usually bundle everything up and you go to the counter and they usually just say, oh, give us a fiver, give us a... This guy, he said, oh, give us £3. And I had loads of other stuff, and these 3 lampshades were a part of it. So I've kind of just, I didn't know what to put, so I just bought like 33p because it kind of worked out like that. And they sold altogether for £20.85. Fees were pretty decent on this one. Yeah, so net profit is £15.48, which are really good. And they're really unusual as well, these lampshades. Yeah, so the next one along, I bought a while ago. It must have been in the summer last year. And I thought it'd go at Christmas, but it didn't. It stuck around a bit. But it's a new with tags horse. It's Khan's horse from Mulan. Is that the name, Khan? Yeah, so it's Mulan's horse, basically. Yeah, that sold for £32.85. The fees plus what I paid taken off, it came to net profit of £21.80. Yeah, I got that car boot a lot like over the summer. I'm surprised it stuck around a bit just because it was quite rare. Okay, so the bottom one, 2 little trinket dishes, and I'm sure they were like, I think they were like 50p each, or even if they were £1 each, then you can just knock £1 off the net for me. But yeah, I sold them for £22 now. This Tin Lan, it's a, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that. I do apologise for any Welsh listeners or viewers. Yeah, the really nice Welsh pottery. I have actually sold a mug, a dragon mug, with it on, and that sold for quite a bit. So I knew what I had, and with everything taken off, it came to £16.87 or well £15.87 if they were £1 each. I can't remember. I've got such a bad memory. I need to write stuff down. I'm getting old. When it comes to Nike and Adidas sports tops, I only buy the really weird ones, the weird and unusual ones. Yeah, this was I think it was £3.10, or it might have been £3.50. I can't remember. As I said, I'm getting old. But it sold for basically £27.51. I knew what I had. It was something unusual. So that's why it went for that amount. Buy it now, so I don't do auctions on these type of things. Postal and fees came to net profit £18.80. The PS1 game. Well, I've spoken about this over and over again. Yeah, so I bought this a few years ago, and I think it was £20. It might have been less. But yeah, I've managed to buy the collection on Switch. They've updated all of their games, this series, onto one cartridge, and weirdly the Darkstalkers, like the third one, that's like 80 odd quid. It's like, I'm not going to pay 80 quid to play a game. The collection only cost me £50, so yeah, this has gone a long way to paying that off. £31. So basically I almost paid like 20 quid for this collection. Oh no, I've sold another one. I sold another game from that series, so I'm in profit basically. Yeah, and it's just, I'm not a collector anymore. I just don't see the need of collecting. People say that, oh, they're only going to go up, and I was like, well, how far can they go up? I mean, it's a bit of a false economy, I think. Eventually I think they're worth what they're worth right now, but yeah, I don't think they'll go too much higher. But then again, it's the retro gaming market is insane, in my opinion. Yeah, but it's only what people will pay for it. Yeah, so moving on from that one. The Little Frog, that's from The Princess and the Swan. It's like a 93 or 94 animated movie that didn't do very well. It's like an alternative to Disney movie. And I picked this up for £2.99 in Stafford, I believe. Yeah, and it sold for £25.86. Yeah, the comps were really good on this one, but this is another one that kind of stuck around a bit longer than I thought. Fees £7.78, so the net profit is £15 and 9p, which is really good. Okay, so the bottom one, that West Wing, if you follow me on Instagram, this was a pretty recent pickup, and this is another one that sold within like, well, a day or two. I paid £10 at Bernardo's, and it sold for £44.50. It's a new and sealed one, and I don't really pick up DVDs, but like I checked the comps and they did do quite well, so got lucky with this one. Net profit £28 and 4p. Build-A-Bears up at the top. I kind of got lucky with these. 50p each, so it's £1 for the lot, and sold for £20.61. Yeah, it's a bit of an unusual one because the comps aren't good on Build-A-Bears, but for some reason somebody paid that amount. I don't know why, but they did. Yeah, after everything, the net profit is £13.68, which again shouldn't have been, but I must have got lucky. The Hasbro Silly Willies Puffalump thing. I remember these when I was a kid. Yeah, I paid 50p, sold 31.50. Take away the postage and fees, and my net profit's 22.17. So yeah, I got that was another one. Like these, like they look cheap and nasty, but just double check these weird looking toys because you could be onto a winner. Okay, so I want to talk about the two pieces of clothing first that are bookended in the middle one. They're both Fred Perry. I got them both at the same place. They were at that jumble sale where items were 30p each, and they both sold really quickly, like within like maybe 2 weeks. So yeah, they picked them up for 30p. I sold one, I took an offer on one, and the left one at £15.80 with fees and everything. The net profit is only £10.19, but that kind of, if I can make £10 net per item or more, I'm kind of, that's my goal moving forward. The other one sold for £21.50. That went straight like full asking. I didn't take an offer on that one, but I priced it relatively cheap compared to others. And yeah, so that sold fees £7.07p. Net profit was £14.13p. Yeah, so I'm pretty chuffed with them just like flying off the shelf. That Valis in the middle, I technically got it for free. Limited Run is a games company that does updates to old games and likes to do like limited run, hence the name. And yeah, for some reason I've double checked my bank account, I've double checked my emails. I never ordered this. I think this is a mess up from their end. I've never ordered this game, and like I said, I've checked my bank account. They haven't taken the money out or anything. And I just received it one day out of the blue. Anyway, I have had it on for about 6 months. And it finally did sell, but weirdly it came from America and it's gone back to America. Yeah, £68.94 after everything. Net fee, my net profit, sorry, is £52.32. Not bad for a freebie. Okay, the next lot I want to talk about, this jigsaw puzzle I've had on for a while. I got it at a charity shop in Stoke-on-Trent. I got it for £1. It was sealed, and it was like a jigsaw of like this really nice artwork. I don't know the artwork. It does say in the listing. I've completely forgot. Yeah, and it sold for £27. I did actually have it up for hire. I think one of the comps was like £35, and I can't remember if I took an offer. I might have taken an offer on this. But after fees and everything, I mean, net profit's £20.19. It's nothing to be sniffed at. The next thing I want to talk about is this Bewley's teapot. Now, these are kind of becoming infamous of my channel at the moment. I bought loads. I think it was something like 16 or something like that. It was like 2 boxes, and they're only like little teapots by, was it Sadler teapots? But Bewley's is like an Irish brand. Anyway, yeah. So I've sold about 5 or 6 of these, and they've like the majority of them are going to the USA. But yeah, it's crazy. At this point, they're actually free. I got them at an auction. I think they were like, I must have just dropped lucky on this. I think they were either £2 or £4 plus the premium, so it was no more than a tenner. And the first one sold for like 15 quid. But yeah, after posting fees, this one, my net profit is £13.85, which works out around what I bring in for each of them at the moment. I've only got like 1 or 2 left. The next thing I want to talk about also is an auction pickup. This is a Czech glass like dog. It doesn't look like it, looks like a weird kind of figure. And this is just a case of not knowing anything but aiming high and hoping for the best. And now I'm scared that I might have undersold it. But the other ones, I think I found one on Etsy and that sold for 20 quid. So, or it was up for £20, so they might have overpaid on the eBay front, in my opinion. But it is my listing, so I'm happy. Yeah, I've worked out it came as like a lot, and they worked out it's about £4 each because there was about 3 or 4 to these lots. And I paid, I think, a tenner altogether. Yeah, so it sold for £31.50 after fees and everything. The net profit is £18.72, which is pretty decent for something that I had no clue whatsoever for. Okay, this is the last slide I want to show you. I mean, obviously I have sold a lot more, but these are just like my favourite bits. Yeah, so the one on the left is a brand that I had no idea about. It was called Green Coast, and it's like a Cornish brand. It's a British brand, yeah, it sells really well. This is like the second thing that I sold from there, and they've sold pretty well, and they kind of go under the radar. Most charity shops kind of think that they're North Coast, or what's it called, Atlantic Bay. It's got the same kind of insignia, but no, it's pretty good. Green Coast. Yeah, and I picked up for £4.10, which sounds a lot for me, but yeah, I knew what it was, and it sold for £39.50 after fees and everything. My net profit is £28.93, which is great because it's coming towards the end of winter. Yeah, the next thing is I think it's Nvidia or Nvidia. It's like a ski brand, and this jacket I got from Buxton, and I think I got it for, it was $7.99. It's another kind of a bit more expensive than what I actually paid for, but it was gorgeous. It had this really nice like feel to it. Oh, it was really nice. If it was in my size, I probably would have kept it. It's just a shame it was a bit long, and it was a bit of like an obvious kind of ski brand. Anyway, yeah, so I sold it for £49 after fees and everything. My net profit came to $27.93. The next thing is probably like one of my favourites. It's pot noodle in a cup with one of those spoons that twizzles round. So you put a battery in it, and you press the button, and it kind of it stirs it for you, and it wraps the noodles around the fork for you. It's really good. I got it for $1.50 from, weirdly, the YMCA, which is like one of the most expensive shops near where I am. And it sold for £20.85 after fees and everything. It was a nice little £10.87 pickup net profit. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, so as I said before, that wasn't everything. It's just like a sampling of some of like my favourite things that I've sold this month. Yeah, so February 2023 was actually quite a low month for me. But considering it's meant to be a bit of a dead month, I've done quite well. Same with January. I did quite well in January. And I've been increasing my average sale price, which I'm pretty chuffed about. Yeah, I'll just go over these fees at the moment. Yeah, so I put in my every fees. I sent probably about 2 or 3 things through Royal Mail, but I haven't included them here. I don't know why. But just through every, I spent £353 and 2p on postage. Now, that's actually quite low because my average postage per month is about £450 to £500. Yeah, and eBay fees £391 and 38p. I sold a total of 117 items, which is also quite low. I usually sell on average probably about 150. Yeah, but cost per item was about £2. I get a lot of like auction bundles, and I get a lot of like 3 for £1 or 4 for £1 kind of things. And a couple of freebies this month that I've sold. So yeah, it's an average around £2. Clothing is coming up to, it's increasing a lot. My clothing used to be about £2, and now it's jumped to about £3.99, something like that. So I've got to be kind of keep an eye on that average cost for clothing. But altogether it was $234. Obviously I bought a lot more in the month of February, but it hasn't sold just yet. Fingers crossed though. My total sales came to £2,657 and 63p. And remember, this is just eBay. It's not including Vinted, Depop, Etsy, or any other stream of income that I might have. This is just purely eBay. My net sales were £1,679 and 23p. Yeah, again, that's quite low for me. However, if you take and it's not including my tax fees, which works out about 20%. So if you take the tax off, it's like £300 odd. It comes to about £1,300 basically, my net sales. If I include my tax, which is still like a third more than what I was earning on a government job. I was earning minimum wage on government job, and yeah, it was atrocious. So yeah, I'm happy doing what I'm doing. But yeah, it's my lowest month so far in the year. However, it's not as bad as what I thought it was going to be, because my attention has been on YouTube, and it's also been on Amazon KDP and a lot of other things, trying to build up those secondary incomes, third incomes, passive incomes, But yeah, I'm quite impressed. How have your sales been? Have yours been okay? Please let me know in below. But yeah, that's everything. And I might do these like once a month. I'm thinking I might do them once a month. I'm on a bit of a roll with them now. But yeah, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.